Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is July 27th, 2021. And on this day, what happened on this day years ago? I don't know. I used to do those reports on what happened on this day. We should look back at what happened on this day. Probably a lot of things happened on this day. But what I do know is happening on this day today is that a lot of people are flying to the National. That's right. The National, I think, kicks off officially, I think, Thursday, but Wednesday. I think it was when it opens up. I think the VIPs or something like that. So it is Tuesday before the National. It is also Tuesday for market indexes. So welcome, everybody. Good morning. Hope everybody's here. I'll be honest, I've had some challenges this morning. Got up and I went to do my StreamYard stuff, and I apparently went over my limit, my free limit. So I had to pay this morning for StreamYard. So it's the first time I'm using the full StreamYard because I went over my monthly allowance. I also am streaming this on Twitter, so we'll see how that works. I don't know if anybody on Twitter's how this works. I don't know, but I'm dual casting, so woo! A lot to talk about today. Not a ton, but a lot. We're going to go over some of the news and notes. We're going to go over market indices, kind of what's going on in the market, ups and downs. Talk a little about the numbers more than the stories, maybe. And then I'll share some video stories with you. I do have a great video story for you, though. I do want to share with you, so hang in to the end. It's about repacks. And this is a positive story. This is a great, warm my heart. This is what repacks are for story. So hang in there. Just a great story. So let me go ahead and, I see a few people. 3B Collection, good morning. Ron, good morning. Simon, Bobby. Hey, 3B, loved your live last night. I will also talk about, there were a lot of live conversations last night. Really enjoyed listening in. Monday nights are busy nights in sports card world. So I think next Monday is going to be busy as well. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. It's all new and shiny having this new StreamYard. Okay. In the news, dealers prepare for potential massive NSCC turnout. The National is going to be big. What I liked about this article, I liked the little blurb here about melee shops because I follow Jamil, and he's part of Slab Stocks, and has his little card thing down there. I've seen him at lots of different shows. Enjoy him, enjoy his content, and it was cool to see him in this article. He's going to have 3 booths. Talks about how many people he's taken and everything. It's going to be interesting. I mean, there's no way that, I got to say, if you're a dealer, you're salivating, right? There's never been this many people coming to the National since at least the 90s, and this could be more. I mean, I really do expect this is going to break records. I would be more shocked if this does not break the attendance record of 100,000 than anything. So if I'd put the over under, I'm going to put the over at 110,000 attendees. I think this is what we're going to see. And I'm curious how they're going to track all that. But anyway, great little article here in Sports Collectors Daily. Go ahead, check out Sports Collectors Daily. I recommend it. I read it every morning when I wake up, kind of skim it for good articles, find some, hope next day. There's another one on the Wayback Collector, Rookies Head to the National. I think this is another great one, right? Because it talks about going to the National for the first time, what to expect. Because again, a lot of people, have been there over and over and over. They know what to expect. And I'll say they have an expectation in their mind. I also will say this. I'm curious to hear how many people will come from the National and be like, oh, that's it? I mean, it is a card conference, right? It's not like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure some people who are brand, and the reason I say that is back when I went in 2016. Now, 2016 was different, right? It wasn't as it was now. But I remember everybody in the hobby at the time told me, you got to go to the National, you got to go to the National. I went to the National, and I had a very good time. I was there for 2 days, day and night and day. But I remember leaving going, well, it was okay. And I had a great time. So we'll see. Is this like your first time to Disney World, or is this like, it's a good time going to a national park? Okay, let's go ahead and look into some of the indices today, some of the market movers. Funny I say market movers, right? Again, not affiliated with market movers. I just use the tool because I love it. It's my favorite tool. I refresh it, all the data just slips out of it. Oh, well. I guess there's nothing big, right? In fact, I got to switch this up. I need to add some football players to this indices, this group here. But I will say, if you do use market movers or you're looking to use it, use code BREAKOUT. That code is not for me. That code is for the guys who are breakout cards, and it lets them get a kickback, and you get 20% off. So I will, I still always suggest, if you're going to go with market movers, go ahead with breakout. They're good guys. I'll say just kind of Tops and Panini. Well, potential Panini, right? Slam could become Panini. It's not Panini now. It's just a rumor, right? I will say this, though. Why is Topps so low? I'm really shocked about that. I mean, they've only been public less than 2 quarters, right? And I think with a ticker sign change in the fall, you think they'd have a little spike, but why are they so low? Even the national coming up, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just baseball card day. There's so much baseball card activity. I do have one suggestion. I hate to bring this up. I went over here to Topps' Bazooka NFTs. Let me just tell you something. If you ever want to see a failed NFT, I'm sorry to say this, Top. This is a failed NFT. This thing's been available for, I don't know, weeks, months. I've been following it. I've been keeping an eye on it. I don't have anything in my collection. If I go over here to shop, I'm sorry. I do have something in my collection. I have 6 packs that I bought that I have not opened, but I have not, anyway, shop. Here's what I want to show you. In the shop, these packs are still available. And they've been available forever. Here's my favorite part of a failed NFT. Is my internet stuck or what? This is the marketplace. Right here's the listings. Right, people are selling these NFTs. Which again, I just say, I bought a few packs with the kids to think it'd be fun to open with them, but now I'm kind of guessing myself. I have no listings because I haven't, opened anything. Here's sold. Look at this. There's nothing sold in the marketplace, and I think that's the entire marketplace. Like what that means to me is that this thing's been open for weeks and not a single app popped. What the heck are you doing in the NFT space? Fumbling? Anyway, we'll go back to something else. Let's go back over here to some of the indices. Going to Star Stock. I really love Star Stock indices. I think they do a very good job of showing the current rookies. I show them what's called the Star Stock A and or a PSA 10 grade. So here's the NBA. It's got a little upwards tick. Actually, a pretty good upwards tick for the NBA, up 20 points. Again, the season is officially over. We are in the season. In fact, we're in the preseason in many ways. I'm bumps and big falls a bit. That's a small growth there. 74 down. It's small moves, ups and downs. And I think there's more moves ups and downs, so it makes sense on why the market in basketball is moving upward. Now again, some of these guys, I'm really surprised. Mikal Bridges is a $3, and yet Laurie Markham is an $8. Didn't this team just make it to the finals? Am I wrong? I don't know. Anyway, next indices. And again, really like these. So check out Star Stock. Is the MLB baseball. And baseball, again, both have been beaten down pretty badly. I mean, these guys were at 758, and these guys are at 696. Both very beaten indices. But we did have a little uptick. Just a little one in baseball, which is, again, kind of surprising. Like, who's going down in baseball? Tatis is down a little bit. That's really surprising. Eloy down a little bit. Bo down a little bit. And I guess they're just more downs than ups, right? That's what makes the indices go down. Gleyber Torres popped a little bit. Pete Alonso, not quite as volatile as some of the other sports. Baseball's still purring along or chugging along. And then lastly, NFL. This one surprised me probably the most of all the indices, and that's the fact that the NFL is down 37 points going into the preseason, right? Why? Right? Did we just talk about like this is a good time to buy or sell? Maybe I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. We'll take a look down here at some of the cards. Now these are in, I believe, PSA 10s, yeah, and Star Stock A. So the first ones here are PSA 10s, and they're pretty big. And Herbert took a dip. Look at that dip, though. That's a pretty big dip. Burrow took a little bit of a dip, a little upwards, little dip, do the dip. Justin Jefferson, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Anything else that's standing out to you guys? Again, I'm pretty interested to see if they redo this little list of players, right? Introduce. They're going to probably have to introduce the new rookies at some point. I guess they'll wait for the Prism cards to come out because these are all off of the Prism set, which I also think is another interesting thing to point out, right? All these indices, well, no, basketball and football are using the Prism card for the indices. So that should tell you something about where Prism ranks in the its marketplace. Last index to take a look at, Card Ladder 50 index. Can we talk about this every week? It's a different index, right? It's made up of a lot of older cards. PSAs, PSA 6s are in this thing. I mean, like, there's everything. A PSA 4 is in this index, but it's still on a slow decline. And quarterly, 23%, monthly, 6.26. Daily change, I have it as a positive, but I will say, I don't know if anybody else is in this leader, the Card Ladder Challenge. Listen, I follow everything. Even though I'm not a Card Ladder person, I use their free information, right? I'm not a fool. But I was watching this contest, and this is pretty cool. So you start with a $10,000 portfolio at the beginning of July, and you have to build a portfolio, and whoever's at the top will win. Then they win a box of cards, which is pretty cool. I thought it was cool. I think I knew House of Cards, and I definitely think I know Cardi C. So I'm rooting for these two guys. Oh, these cards. That can't be the same 9. No, it's not. That's not Jake. But it's kind of cool looking on here for friends and cheering them on, or looking at their portfolios. Like here, you can go into these guys and you can see what they bought too, which is kind of cool. Right. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was cool. And it'll be coming to a close, I think, on Friday night, right? Or this week. It comes to an end. We'll go ahead and kill that one. And then we'll go ahead and pop into some YouTube content. Last night, there were several, right? I'll try to pull out all these. This one caught my attention because it was just freaking hilarious. It was funny. It was very funny. Pepino Man, Filmington, Maiko, Jeremy, Whisker Grifter. These guys were just fun. And what reason I'm bringing this up was there's a lot of good collaborations last night. I mean, too many to talk about. There's Steve. There was a 3B collection. But a lot of it was just guys just chatting about the national and the hobby. And it was just really, really fun. It was super fun to listen in. These guys have been going to national for years. And I want to just quickly bring up Whisker Griff over here. Whisker Grifter. That's what Pepino Man was teasing. That's why I'm saying that. Whisker Griff is not a grifter, by the way. These guys are really collectors, man. Has had a channel since 2007, been putting out YouTube content since 2010. Real OGs here, man. So shout out to you guys. Really enjoyed the video. Had me in stitches last night, Pepino Man. I mean, I'm not kidding, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. And please, don't fly on the plane and get in trouble. Just get to the show and have a great time, man. Have a great time. I'll leave it at that. Next video I want to talk about real quickly. So I've been following Mojo Sports for a while. Like the guy's energies out, I think, in the Sacramento area. You know, guys, a little hustle on. And I saw his video. And he started out with these Mojos repacks, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god!" Another channel that I like. Please. So here's my comment. This is funny. So look down here. Are the Mojo packs repacks or kids packs? Please be free for kids packs. Please don't be a repacker. Really enjoyed the video. Lots good energy. I love the kids opening packs, and your traffic at the booth was awesome. So I did watch the video. At the end, he says they are all free. We actually made a bunch and give them away to collectors too who walked up to the booth at the show. Thanks, man. The kids of the future. Let me just do. This is the best way that anybody should ever use a repack. This is the only way you should use a repack. You want to have a bunch of cards you don't do with, can't sell them. Repack them for kids or for giveaways. God, that's such a great thing, man. Mojo Sports, you made my freaking night last night. I've been in a Twitter with a bunch of just angry people. I won't even go into it, but this made me, I don't want to get negative. I just want to talk about how great this video made me feel. It just was great. So I even said in there, I think I said in my comment down at the bottom, huge kudos to you, man. Can I send you free cards to share with the kids? And I mean that, dude. If you're giving cards to kids, I will send you free cards. I'll send you my cards that I'm sending to ComC. They're not valueless. They have some value. I'll send those to you. If you're going to repack them for kids, dude, let me know. I want to see them repack the kids. And this guy's doing it, but I love that. Okay. So the last out is today is Tuesday, and it's also, I'm going to do a little NFT blockchain comment. Okay. I'm not encouraging anybody to get in these, right? Do you. I do me, you do you, boo. You do you, boo, okay? But this is pretty interesting. These packs, this pack everybody's talking about, well, it's still in the market. I'm glad it's still in the market. Think about this. You come get an NFT pack for $10. That won't last forever. Like, I think by October, November, are now, I think they'll add a system. But right now, this is still running pretty much under the radar. And it's interesting, too, because I think the Top Shot guys don't understand Prism at all, or Panini, or collectibles. For example, I watched a video by Fleo this morning, and I really like Fleo, and he was reviewing this pack. And, there's a rare pack. It's $99. But in his mind, he automatically compares that rare pack to a Top Shot rare pack. Well, in a Top Shot rare pack, I believe a rare is numbered to 1,200, 1,400. It's a big number. It's not rare, right? I mean, think about that. Would you consider that rare? And then, here, there's 2 NFTs in here to 99. if you had the equivalent NFT to 99 in Top Shot, that's like a legendary moment, man. I mean, it's just, you can't compare apples to oranges. I mean, these are two different NFTs. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of these. Really enjoying it. I'll just leave it at that. I've got a YouTube channel that's dedicated to my Panini NFTs. If you want to check it out, it's just my journey, my thoughts. But I did want to bring this to your attention. It is going for sale today. I do think these will not sell out because they're $99, and I think this is still a the radar thing. These will be on the site most of the day, if not all day. So it'll be interesting to check it out and see how that goes, and also see how it affects the marketplace and how the market's been gaining momentum. We need more, but I'm talking too much. Okay, let me go ahead and pop out of the share screen and go back to the channel. Let's say good morning to everybody. See any comments, questions, thoughts. There's 3B collection. Great collaboration last night. Listening in on yours. Like I said, Flipping Steve had one going on. Hobby Network Group had one going on. It was a really active night last night for YouTube Live, and I really enjoyed it. Ron, I listened to Ron last night. Just landed in Chicago. Cheers, Ron. Man, glad you made it there safely. Ron was listening last night to Pepino Man. Pretty funny stuff, wasn't he? He was just cracking me up, man. Simon, morning. Bobby, one more day before the National. That's right, man. One more day. And I'm looking forward to it just as much as you guys are. I'm not there, but I'm still looking forward to it. In fact, I will tell you what I did do. I'm not. Let me give you two things. I'm not encouraging anybody to do the stuff I do. I'm just telling you a story. I did sign up for a spot in that 64 box break on the National on 29th. That's going to be on the main stage. I thought that'd be fun. That way I can participate in the National, virtually by watching that break online, watching that competition go take place. I'm super excited about that. Not endorsing Star Stalker breaks. You do you, babe. You do you, boo. The other thing I'll quickly say is that I really mean this when I say I don't want to influence people to do stuff. I just want to make you aware. In fact, as Dr. Beckett said, I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to teach you how to think, right? So I want you to take the same things I'm doing and think about how you do in your own world. And I say that because one of my friends, I've been talking about the Panini NFTs to him, and he's like, "You really think this is a good thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm pretty long on these NFTs. I personally think Panini doesn't do things wrong. They're pretty good at executing. When they got a business plan, they execute pretty well. And I think they've got a good plan for Panini NFTs as they move forward." So he went out and bought a bunch of Panini NFTs and then showed me, because I trust you. I'm taking your advice. And then I thought to myself, gulp. I'm like, dude, my friend just spent a ton of money on Panini NFTs because I said they were good. And it made me feel uncomfortable. I mean, I feel comfortable about the idea. I still believe that they will go well, but I'd feel really bad if that good friend of mine in the future didn't do well with Panini NFTs. That's why, again, I don't want to tell you what to do. I want to teach you things you can do, if that makes sense. I really like Dr. Beckett, man. Wise man. Good morning, Shane. Good morning. Keep up the good work exposing grifters in the hobby. Rob, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And look, I'm not going to go into on this thing about the repacks. I've talked about repacks in the past. I'll continue to talk about repacks. I will say, let me just make a quick shout out real quickly. I got in this little Twitter battle the last few days about repacks. And my argument is, look, if you've got a repack product, let's talk about it. Come on a live debate, your channel, mine, whatever. Let's talk about it. Let me ask you why you're doing it, right? Because I think if we have a conversation, I'm going to expose a few things. I'm going to expose that the only reason repacks are done is to profit off of people at more than the value of the cards itself. And that is the scam. It's not the selling of the card. Sell the card all you want. But if you're selling products value, that is a scam. And that is what repacks ultimately do, is they take a lot of cards, and the value you get at the end is more than the value of the cards in the market. That's a problem, right? So I'm going to continue to call that shit out, right? It's bad. And I'll say too, Robert, I've gotten a lot of great comments and feedback privately from people saying, "Hey, keep it up. Good work. Thank you." And I can't tell you how many followers I picked them on Twitter. I don't know if they're following me because they think I'm crazy, but they're following me now. So I will keep up, the ranting and the raving and bringing that, and I'll also take the feedback. If a repacker guy can get on the live with me and explain to me why it's good, hey, great, change my mind, right? Like I just pointed out, Mojo Breaks repacks, perfect example of a great thing to do with repacks. But when you're profiting off your friends for more than the value of the contents and the products, you are a grifter, and you should look yourself in the mirror. Think about that, right? And I'll just say this one last thing. Okay, so there's this one jerk, right? Ryan Cards LLC, who's one of the biggest grifting repackers in the world. Now, I'll be honest. I love to see him out of business in the repacking, brakes and razzing. Great, do all that stuff. But I'd like to see him not do the repacks anymore. But here's the thing: if he were to get out of it, you know, it's going to look like, oh, Ziggy ruined his life. He took away his livelihood. He attacked this man's way to make money. Find a fucking better way to make money, dude. Stop being a thief. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I want my shows in the morning to be warm and fuzzy, and I just went off. Ziggy, you're going to the National, right? No, Inglorious P, I'm not going to the National. I am not going to National. I had VIP tickets. I didn't have a VIP. I'm sorry. I had VIP party tickets, which are the best tickets to have. And I gave those away to some friends, but I just couldn't do it. I have too much stuff going in my life with work. I've got a big work event on the 29th. The kids this weekend, actually have them for a long weekend, and they just weren't interested in Chicago. We got some other great plans headed for the weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. So no, I'm not going to National, man. We'll see me somewhere else, I promise. Maybe it's just not Bazooka. I don't know. It just surprised me how poorly that is doing, man. I mean, what is Topps? Topps' marketing team needs some help. My only issue with the indices is they can be manipulated. I agree. You're absolutely right? Because I can go on to Star Stock and look at one of those cards, and I could sell it really close to a low price, take a low bit, like take a low offer. Actually, could I take a low offer, or I take the most recent market over? Yeah, they still could be manipulated. They could. I agree with you. But I will say, of all the indices, in my opinion, Inglorious P, Star Stocks are probably the most fair representation, and the cards that people in the market are looking at, right? Because they're looking at liquid cards, right? More liquidable cards are in those rookie prism cards. That's why I don't like the card ladder one. It's not liquid. It's not a real representation of the sports card market. And let me not even get started with markets. Yo, Case Cards, what's up? Good morning, Larry. Cheers, Mojo Sports. I am getting team bags to put a little lending libraries in my neighbors for kids. I also heard some guy that puts team bags together and hands them out. Absolutely. DR, that is a great idea. I tell you that it is for the Halloween. It is. Jeremy Lee. Jeremy Lee talked about this 2 years ago, so I give him total credit for this. He does that. He says he puts together team bags with cards, and he gives them away at Halloween. He gives candy as well. He did stress that. He goes, you don't want to be just giving cards. You want to give candy and cards. Freaking great idea. Really, really enjoy it. Another thing I recommend, guys, children's hospitals, boys and girls clubs. There's just so many places, man, you can give cards away. Really can. I mean, you don't need, anyway. Do you know if you can trade the Panini NFT doubles? No, you cannot yet, right? And I will say, my biggest complaint about Panini's NFTs is their platform is the least advanced in its abilities. The search is terrible. The sorting is awful. It's got a long way to come. They currently don't allow gifting, which I would consider trading, right? Because you could trade with your gift. But what I will say is I expect it will all be coming very soon. They made an announcement. They're making those advancements to the search, to the ability to sell packs. Soon they'll come with some ability to do a trade or a giving of NFTs. So looking for more. And I'll say this. Top Shot said the same thing. So they're going to allow you to sell packs, and they're going to have an auction. But they said that for last year. It's been over 1 year and $500 million, and Top Shot's made no improvements to the platform. Not that are using and help the marketplace. They've made a lot of advancements to make it cost more, but they haven't done anything to make the product better. So I expect Panini will have changes made within the next few months or so. We'll see. That's going to be key to their success. I would moments with the gift NFTs through the Prism platform. I will say too, real quickly, a quick plug for Topps' MLB NFTs is they are on the best marketplace because they use Wax. And Wax is a third-party marketplace, a blockchain. It's a third-party blockchain that has third-party markets, but it's a very mature, developed blockchain community. The best. You can actually trade a card to somebody without any transaction fees. You can gift cards to people. You can see their portfolios and request cards from them. It's so much better. But Topps is just doing nothing with the Wax platform and MLB. And then they dropped the Bazooka on a totally different platform. The platform I showed you earlier is not on the Wax platform. It's on a totally different blockchain. That to me was a mistake. Why would Topps pick two different blockchains? Anyway, I'm going too long on too many different things. Good morning, Canadian Cards. Good morning, sir. Good morning, my friends. I'm wondering why they would hold the National at the murder capital of the world. Well, They've been doing it for a while, and the murder capital world changes. So that's why, right? Sometimes it's Chicago. One time it was Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia, man. So and also too, it's not in Chicago. In fairness, it's like having it at it's like Chantilly in Virginia is not DC, right? Because we're outside DC and they have the big conference in Chantilly, and they call it the Chantilly conference because it's really not DC. But I agree. Here's what I think is more interesting. Why do they keep having it in Chicago and AC? We were talking about that last night, I think, on Westergrift's channel. Like, why don't they do Denver? Why don't they do here? Why don't they do there? I know there's a strong reason that they keep pulling it to the East Coast, right? But I think to myself, if there's any reason at all why you'd want to expand west, it's now during this boom where more and more people are getting the hobby. Move it west. Like, if you put it west in Denver or Vegas, make the people on the East Coast go. If they don't want to go, fine. But I just don't see it happening. I believe next year it's in Atlantic City. The year after it's in Chicago, and it's just going to alternate back and forth. Cleveland was in the round, but then the Cleveland Convention Center, I believe, was bulldozed or something like that. The Nationals have stepped up security. They have, but they've always had security. They know they have more people, so they've increased the security. And let me just also make a quick comment. Why do they have security? Because the hobby is the people, and the people are good and bad. Sorry. It just kind of is the way it is, right? It's sad the fact that we have to worry about stuff like this, but there are a lot of, grifting is one thing, but there's people that just downright steal from you, right? So yeah, they have stepped up security. I agree on repackers, but don't we need to make people who buy them more knowledgeable about how they think? Yes, we totally agree. And it's a hard battle. It's a very, very hard battle to do that because, and I put together a video last year, maybe I'll do an update video, but again, the problem is again, and I'll say this when I was new to the hobby, I came into the hobby and you start seeing stuff being open. You're like, I'll open that. Oh, that seems cool. And you're really opening based on cost more than you are based on quality or contents, right? Most people don't look at checklists of products that they open, right? I look at checklists. Okay. So they don't, anyway, they see these examples. They'll see that Star Stock has a repack product. Go, hey, repacks are cool. And then they'll see their breaker that they've been using forever. He's got a repack. I'm like, oh, that seems fine. And they'll see a repack product on eBay. And they're all three different repacks, and all three have different potential scam capability, right? So that's the problem. People don't understand the repack. But again, the fundamental problem with a repack is that if I take the contents of the entire repack, the value is going to be less than the income they generate. And why is that? Because they're designed to extract as much money as they can from the buyers so the seller can make a profit. And the seller will justify it by saying, well, man, if you really want to do hard work, then just sell your cards on platforms, right? Hustle. Sell it on Facebook. Line some cards, right? Go to My Slabs. Go to Star Stock, right? That's hustling too. But I agree. We got to educate more people. It is education. But again, right now, let's be honest, dude, the voices of truth are small. Right? The voice of come follow me, I know everything are loud. I'm going to be the National next year. It's closer to me and costs will be less. I agree, Gaming God. I plan to go next year. It's Atlantic City. I'm not a fan of AC, but it's in driving distance for me. I would like to go. I wanted to go this year. So we'll see. Life interrupts. Remember, this is a hobby for me. It's not my fundamental career. It's not my income. So it's not like if this is my job, then yeah, I'd have to go to the National this week. But it's not. And also I'll say too, for a lot of those people who it is their job, right? They're writing off all those expenses to the National. When you're just a collector, that's a sunk cost that you carry, right? Which is fine, but just that's a huge difference. Have you seen that Waxham Football Club, owned by Rob, blah, 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 and Ryan Reynolds, have produced Philadelphia-inspired green kit? No, I did not. I did not. Did see is that there's a women's tackle team. I didn't know there was. There was a women's football team that apparently Kraft flew them to the championship game. I had no idea there's women's tackle football. I'd love to watch that. Did you guys ever see the women's lingerie football? That was some good stuff too. That's a great league, by the way. I think that league's still going on. My brother, one of his college friends was the head coach, I want to say, of the Philadelphia women's team. Oh my God. I don't think I say anything else, man. Tops is LOL. What would be one thing that would surprise you coming out of the National? A market crash would surprise me. I put it that way. Like if after the National, if the prices just plummeted, that would surprise the hell out of me. Same thing, a market spike would surprise me. I just expect more of the same. Also, I'm curious to see. I think the most curious thing I am looking forward in the National is what's going to happen with the DJ Ski art card of Jordan. That I'll put it this way. I know it's going to sell out. He'll sell it out. I also suspect he'll be sued. But what will happen? Will people look at that card and go, man, this is great, and other people will do it? Or will people not do it? I don't know, because I'm a big Jordan fan, and I would love to get one of those cards. I think it's cool, but I'm curious to see how that's going to impact the world. Interesting. I don't know. That's a great question. Anybody else? What are your biggest surprises you see coming out of National? Again, I don't expect any major surprises. Even an acquisition or merger wouldn't surprise me right now. It just Vegas National, cheap flights, convention centers. I agree, Bobby. I mean, I said that. I mean, the two cheapest places in the U.S., maybe North America, are Orlando and Vegas. Orlando's another great, cheap, lots of conference space, easy to get into location. Heavy East Coast. But in my opinion, Orlando would be perfect. Because think about this, dude. You could bring your family, right? Your family could do Disney World. You could do some Disney World. You could do sports card. Like, hey, Disney, if you're listening to me, you should host a sports card conference at the Disney complex, a Swan and Dolphin down in Orlando. That would be freaking awesome, man. But yeah, I love Vegas. Vegas would be great. Again, I will say, remember, there is a Vegas sports card show coming in, I think it's September, October, with the Industry Day. I will bet my Fleer that one day these nationals somewhere is going to get killed over flash money and cards. Yeah. That would be awful, and that would be shocking. That'd be terrible, man. I don't want to think about that. I don't want people getting hurt. I really don't. I'm not into violence. Just don't make deals in the parking lot of the Nationals. Yeah. Also, stay in groups. Stay with your friend, man. I think I watched something about the National, and they aren't going to other places due to logistics. They need the floor space. That's exactly right. I did watch something on it as well. Let me see something. I got to keep it on my work schedule here. I saw the same video. I think it was on Beckett Media Live. They had the guy, I think it was Ray Schultz. I think he's the guy. I could be wrong. But he did talk about it. Logistically, they're kind of locked in. There are only certain places that would accompany them and facilitate them. Now, I know the arguments are, well, come on. Why? There's Orlando, there's Dallas. I understand that. But for some reason, they are locked into those places logistically. I love the women's lingerie football team. Dude, I do too. The star QB is now a female host on Fox News. Really? Really? That's damn cool, man. Do you think there will be some deal on eBay? I'm thinking about putting some stuff on eBay to sell, and some auction stuff for this weekend too. I don't know. That's a great question. I also think maybe not. Like, I think last weekend would have been a good one because I think people might have wanted to buy stuff to take to National. But I don't know. It's a good question, Gaming God. I just don't know. One of the things that would surprise me, the National, is that Jeff Wilson isn't arrested this year at National. He won't be arrested, dude. Jeff's too good. Jeff is actually too smart of a businessman to do something stupid, right? In fact, I was thinking about it. Jeff never talks about, gives any attention to the competition. He's got his plan. He got his agenda. He moves forward. Conversely, I mean, the card letter guys are obsessed with Jeff. I mean, they really are. They are obsessed with him. And I just come to the point where Jeff is Jeff. I know him personally. I could call him. He probably wouldn't answer the phone, but I know him. And I could talk to him and I could ask him a question. He'd answer me. He's not a bad person. Like I said, he's so open about stuff that I don't believe he has any not any planned ill intent. Right. And what really, I think, makes it for me was his conversation at Dr. Beckett's dinner, where he did stand up. His comment was, says, we got to find a way to make people happy in the hobby. We can't just say buyer beware and let them get hosed, right? He made some good arguments there. He also has adjusted what he does. He's changed the way he does some of his content. Like, for example, he does do his 5 picks every week or whatever, but he does tell you the background behind him. Also, let me tell you this: when he's doing his 5 picks, he's pulling it from the data that's in eBay, showing you here's the top 5 cards, right? If you pull eBay from data, you see the same thing too that he's seeing. Conversely, let me just quickly say, remember, the card ladder guys sell a class and a newsletter to people for profit that you never hear about, right? They sell picks on a newsletter, $15 a month. Never use the newsletter. Don't even know the newsletter is active, right? But they are selling a newsletter for picks. And yet they don't tell you about that. That is the shadiest grifter in the hobby, in my opinion, is Chris and Josh at Card Ladder. Right? They're worse than the repackers. And I say that because they're using the trust that you put it to then steal money from you. And I do mean steal money from you, okay? Because I do think their entire product is, well, we'll just leave it at that. The days of needing to attend the National are over, unless for fun to see friends. Why Orlando and Vegas would be great? Yeah, I agree. Coming up here to the end of questions, spoke to the FBI and the IRS, and they are going to be arrested for tax evasion. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just say what I will say. We talked about this earlier. I made a comment. I'd love to see a video on how to report people. Let me just give you some tips. There's the Better Business Bureau. There's the Consumer Affairs. Those are two organizations that just as a consumer you can report problems to. Not that they're going to take much action, but they'll at least have a record or history. Law enforcement's not going to look into certain things. I don't know if the FBI, it might, I don't know, FBI, IRS, we'll see. But I agree with you. I think there's going to be some changes. There's been such a boom in the hobby in the last year or two. The government has been locked down, but the government's not asleep, right? Government will catch it, right? I remember, wasn't Lamine James who did the IRS as the dog chasing the little dog, right? What would a game use lingerie go for? Oh my God. More than a Mahomes RPA, right? Don't you think? It's so sad. When I hear that, I think back to that show, Orange is the New Black, where the prison women are selling their panties. That's just terrible. That's just terrible. It's awful, dude. That may affect the hobby if the biggest YT sports card guy goes to jail. Again, that's not going to happen. In fact, I don't think anybody of all the grifters, I don't think any of them will go to jail. That's probably the problem with the hobby, right? I think the biggest penalty you'll face is a fine, right? Hey, you're not paying taxes, or hey, you did something wrong, or hey, you pay a fine. And we've seen that, right? There's a video out there about the guy who did Heroes of Sports, which was one of the biggest notorious repack scams in the world. And he never got in trouble for it, right? The people who supported him, the breakers, never got in trouble for it. The only trouble they get, guys, is that we remember and when we choose not to use their product. But since there's so many new people, they're unaware of that. Good news letter on how to donate my money. Okay, guys, I've gone a long time, 37 minutes. Really appreciate all the comments, the feedback. Really want to shout out Mojo Breaks or Mojo Sport again for those repacks. I think that's awesome. Again, thanks for hanging. Sorry I was a little late. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:30. Game use price would depend if PSA or PSA DNA. Okay, guys. Have a great